My name is Brannon, and I recently promoted to Battalion Chief on C Shift here in Cedar Hill. I started 25 years ago as a volunteer firefighter, and got into the career, loved it, made a few calls, and had saw a few things. But I knew that this is what I wanted to do for a living. So I went on to the academy, graduated the academy in '95, and probably wasn't 2 weeks out of the academy, maybe a little bit more, but I caught my first fatality fire, and it was 3 children that the uncle had left alone. It was a mutual aid call. There was 3 girls. We found a 4-year-old covering the 2-year-old and the 1-year-old in the bathroom. She was sheltering them. I can still remember today the mother screaming in the yard, and so didn't think a lot about it. Again, I went on and become a career firefighter. Ran more calls, just started having lots of accidents. These are just what we did. You couldn't talk about them, and of course for none of those did we do any kind of critical incident stress debriefings or anything. That was something for the week, and that was taught early on, that we didn't talk about this stuff, and you sucked it up. This job was you were either tough enough to do it or you weren't. As I had children, as I had a son, the job changed for me. It just, things that used to not bother me or I didn't think bothered me, they seemed to take a little bit more toll, and I think most people would shake their heads yes on that, because when you have children, it just changes things for you. So everything kind of balled up, and I'm going to use the analogy of a computer desktop. You have icons on a computer desktop, and calls representing things you see representing icons, and if you don't know how to store those icons appropriately and put them in a folder, that desktop's going to fill up on you eventually. And so we had the call that we all trained for. It come in 3:30 in the morning, fire, 2-story structure with people trapped, 6 people trapped, and it's go time. This is what we signed up to do. We got there, 2 people are jumping out the upper floor window, so we knew we had 4 people trapped. The engine company is pulling out one out the front door, an adult. So we knew we had at least 3 more inside. And me and my crew, we went in, we were able to rescue another one right at the front door. Went back in, found the mom on the staircase going upstairs, and we were able to pull her out and make that rescue as well. Went back in for a 3rd time, and that's where life changed for me. The job, we went upstairs and we were going to do a right-handed search, and it was dark, and I was leading the crew because I had the thermal imaging camera, the TIC, and we did a right-hand search. And when I went into on my right-hand side, went into that bedroom, I saw my son laying on the floor, and of course I had a helmet cam on, and I jerked my head because it just was like, I can't even explain what I saw. And obviously it wasn't my son. It was a 13-year-old girl, and she was full grown. But what I saw was like an 8-year-old boy is what I saw. And of course we made the grab, got outside, and everybody knew that, I told people, hey, I saw something, and they knew something was different. So that after that, that was the first call that I've ever had critical incident stress debriefings on, and it helped. But I knew, and I even said it in that meeting that day, I needed to go a little bit further. What I saw was normal, and that I wasn't weak, and that this was common, and it explained about how to store that stuff that we see, and how if we don't offload it, eventually that desktop's going to fill up on you. And I just think it's so important. As firefighters, we work out all the time, and new guys coming in, they work out, want to take care of their bodies, but mentally we got to be able to take care of our minds as well. If not, you're just going to be a buffed up emotional basket case someday. And so I just know how important, the Bible talks about us. The enemy is a roaring lion, that comes in to kill, steal, and destroy. And if we don't stick together, the lion never attacks the single. He always attacks the single and the weak, and so he never attacks the group. And so we gotta stick together as a group and be there for our brothers, And I think for anyone, we'll just find 3 people, and I think that's so true. Find 3 people to talk to and open up and be able to offload this information. And through that, I think we can get through this together, and it's so important. And I just tell all the officers, be there for your guys. If you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for your brother. I just think it's a really great program, this resiliency program, and it's exactly what it says. It makes you resilient to the cause, because eventually your computer desktop's going to fill up. Kitchen table is where everything happens. That's where all the communication happens. We solve the world's problems at the kitchen table. We were able to really just sit down and people will cry at the kitchen table, they'll laugh at the kitchen table, but that's where everything happens. And that's a good place just to sit down and have counseling sessions at. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a quiet bedroom or office or anything like that. I think it's okay to come back from any call, because you don't know what someone's desktop looks like. It could be that this person's computer screen's a little bit smaller than yours, and so you never know when just that simple car wreck, where it didn't affect anyone else in the room, it might have affected this other guy's. So the new recruits are different. They are, honestly, they're better. And so they're taught in school, if you see something, before it was like you couldn't say a word, and they're taught if they see something, you say something, from when they're in school. And so today, I think they're able to speak up more, and it's okay, even on the fire scene. If they know that something's a life safety issue on a fire scene, they are to speak up. Well, my suggestion to them is life safety can be at the firehouse too. If you see something at the firehouse, you need to speak up, and include yourself. And it's okay to say something or ask questions about something. And I just think as we continue to educate ourselves on this more and more, we're gonna be able to do good things.